Happy Friday. We are back. Welcome, guys. My name is DK, and in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the 10-game NBA DFS slate on Draftkings. We got 100K to first. Once again, you do like to see that. But man, let's just say I'm in rat piss, if you will. So you guys follow me on Twitter. I cooked up a parlay in the lab, aka my couch. Took unders on Kuzma and Poole, took all over on Peyton Pritchard points, which hit. And then it all came down to DiVincenzo I took some all points and all assists, and the man just completely laid an egg. He played so well in the preseason, and he hooked me. Game one cost me like $500. With not recording a stat in the whole fourth quarter. And then when I need him the most, the man just completely lays an egg. So on tilt mode, because I was writing the prop thread. I just finished writing the prop thread, and I see the game is like a high scoring game. It was like 80-70 early in the third. I'm like, yes, okay. Probably a good chance DiVincenzo is having a decent game here. Check the stats. 2 points, no assists. And I'm just like, I'm done. So don't want to talk about today anymore. The sponsor of today's video, guys, that is going to be Underdog. You can use the code DKDFS or the link in the description for a $250 deposit match bonus. Definitely would recommend it. I've been on Underdog for a while. They offer a ton of different sports. I mainly play NBA and NFL, but a ton of player pop. So definitely would recommend it, guys. And if you are a first-time user and click the link or use my code, it does help support the channel. So would appreciate that. If you guys look for more content, you can check out my premium linked in the description. All that is over on OddShopper. You can use the code DK40, 40% off any package. That is only going to be up there for another couple days, that discount. So take advantage of that if you are interested. And let's just get right into the video. So first game here, we got Philadelphia and Toronto. No Embiid, no Paul George. And then you have Caleb Martin probable. Now, last game, Andre Drummond got massive foul trouble. It's really, really tilted me. He was on pace to play 30-plus minutes, got massive foul trouble. I think Drummond's a pretty good play here. Once again, at 6.8K, I think that maybe box score watchers will avoid him, but I think the ceiling definitely is 30-plus minutes there for Drummond. Maxey led the team in usage and potential assists. No surprise, 9.1K. He has a very high ceiling here. Kelly Oubre should be the number 2 on offense. He did basically nothing besides score the ball last game, but he's at a reasonable price point. And then Philly ran a pretty tight rotation. Basically only played 8 guys. Caleb Martin played good minutes. Cage Martin started. Caleb Martin played more than him, though, off the bench. And then Yabusele played some backup 5 and played some backup 4. He's 4K. I think he's a reasonable value play. The other guys in the rotation were Lowry and Eric Gordon. But, I really like the way that Philadelphia ran the rotation. So good amount to like here, in my opinion, in a good spot against Toronto. And then on the Toronto side, Quickly and Barrett, doubtful. No Olynyk, no Bruce Brown. My expectation is that Davion Mitchell will start. Scotty Barnes is in a really good spot here. Basically teamed himself in one of the games that Quickly did not play in the preseason. Scotty Barnes almost had a triple-double, so really like his upside. I think Jakob Poeltl's a good play at 6-1. He's on pace for a solid game last game, but a game turned into a massive blowout. Again, Davion Mitchell should start. I think he's a reasonable option. Grady Dick and Ochai Agbaji look better at 5K and 4-3 respectively. I took Chris Boucher props last game. That worked out in a huge way. Took Alt Boucher props as well. We know he's a pretty good point per minute player, 3.9K. I think he's a decent value play. There's just a lot to like. Your Shed's going to play the backup point. I think he's even in play. So in my opinion, a lot to like in this first game here. Brooklyn and Orlando. So Nick Claxton got ejected last game. We did get confirmation that he wasn't a limit. Did not start. They started Ben Simmons at the 5. Ben Simmons had a really good game. I want to say, I think he had 16 potential assists in 24 minutes, something crazy like that. Stuff the stat sheet. So if Claxton's once again is on a limit and Ben Simmons starts, I definitely have some interest in a 5.68 Ben Simmons. Top end guys, Cam Thomas is the guy with the highest ceiling. He's viable. No real strong takes like Schroeder or Cam Johnson. Jalen Wilson had a good game off the bench, 3.7K. I think he's going to be a pretty big part of this rotation. I think he's a decent value play. Dorian Finney-Smith is fine. But yeah, keep an eye on the Claxton news. If he's on limit, again, it would make me like Ben Simmons more. Moving on to Orlando. So going to keep an eye on the status of Jonathan Isaac. He is questionable. Not huge news. I mean, maybe they dust off like, I don't know, Caleb Houston or Jet Howard or something like that if he gets ruled out. But they ran a 10-man rotation, relatively deep rotation, but Banchero was the guy that they played the most. He led the team in usage. So yeah, love the ceiling of Banchero. Again, I think he's going to take a pretty big step forward this year. Prefer him to Franz at a relatively similar price point. Wanacar Jr. 5'1", Suggs 4'8". Again, this team is just like pretty balanced outside Apollo. They run a pretty deep rotation. Not a ton else to mention, really. And if you want to like target one of these cheap guys, it's fine. Cole Anthony loved the team potential assists last game, but like I said, they're just running a pretty deep rotation. Charlotte and Atlanta. This is definitely one of my favorite games to target. No Brandon Miller, no Mark Richards. You got Josh Green questionable. With Josh Green, if Josh Green does not play too, you're probably going to see a little more run for guys like Seth Curry and Trey Mann. Trey Mann had a huge game last game. He actually led the team in usage. But yeah, LaMelo Ball, I think, looks really good here. He had a huge game last game. I expect him to be very popular. Hard not to like him here, though, against Atlanta. Miles Bridges looks better than no Brandon Miller. He'll get a usage bump for sure. Nick Richards dealt with some foul trouble. He started the 5. I think he's a reasonable value play. Grant Williams can play some 5. They also dusted off Musa Diabate and played him a little bit as the backup. But definitely some interesting cheaper guys, especially if Josh Green is out, like a Martin, like a Curry, like a Trey Mann. So keep an eye on that news for sure. Moving on to Atlanta. So no Bogdanovich for Atlanta. Also, Kobe Buffkin's still out. Trae Young, Jalen Johnson, they're going to lead the team in usage this year. I think both pretty solid plays here. 9-7 for Trae, 7-7 for Jalen Johnson. Capella and Okongwu will split the center position. However, it was Okongwu that they leaned on more. Last game, Okongwu played 28 minutes. That's definitely something to note. Dyson Daniels played a lot last game. I think he's a reasonable value, 4-6, especially with Bogdanovich out. Hunter is reasonable. The rookie is viable as well. I think Vic Krejci probably gets a slight minutes bump here with Bogdanovich out, but probably not enough for me to get to him. Detroit, Cleveland. Detroit, no Stuart Thompson. Not the best matchup here, but Cade did have a really good game. Last game led the team in usage and potential assists. He's a viable contrarian option. Tobias Harris also played good minutes. Ivy dealt with some foul trouble, still played decent minutes as well. But again, it's not really the best spot here. I think like any of the main Pistons are viable contrarian options, but no one that I'm really going to out of my way to play. Tim Hardaway Jr., Malik Beasley kind of going to split the guard/wing position there. Let's move on to Cleveland. The game was a massive blowout, so you did not see the starters play in the fourth quarter. But I think any of Mitchell Mobley, Allen Garland are in play. Evan Mobley actually led the team in usage last game. Definitely something to note. You had Dean Wade start. He's 3-7, but again, it's Dean Wade. He's going to be really low usage playing alongside those other starters. Cleveland's just a pretty boring team. There's not really much else to talk about here. Indiana and New York. So Pacers, keep an eye on stats. Isaiah Jackson, he's questionable. If he misses, you saw the Pacers did not go small ball at all. They actually went to Enrique Freeman as the backup 5, and then Miles Turner played 21 second half minutes. So if Isaiah Jackson gets rolled out, I'd feel pretty good about the minutes for Miles Turner there. So definitely keep an eye on that. Halliburton had a really, really bad game. He's at 9K. He's been very up and down. Siakam had a solid game, 8-3 last game. But once again, this Pacers team is relatively balanced. Guys like Mathurin, Nembhard, Naismith, all playable. No one really stands out. They did not play any small ball 5. You did see them play some small ball 5 with Obi Toppin in the preseason, but you did not see that at all last game. I wonder if Isaiah Jackson gets ruled out if they play some Obi at the 5. Moving on to the Knicks. So the Knicks ran a pretty tight rotation last game in a competitive game, no surprise. Starters played huge minutes. McBride played good minutes off the bench, and then you saw a little bit of campaign, a little bit of Jericho Sims. So yeah, good spot here, up-tempo game. I like a lot of the Knicks. I think Brunson and Cat are two of the better plays on the slate, in my opinion, at the top. 8-6 for Brunson, 8K for Cat. Really like both. Not as excited about Bridges and Hart and OG, but again, they should all play good minutes. So they're all in play for that reason. McBride was someone that I was not fading opening night. He paid off in a big way. Again, he's going to have a big role for this team. He's the 6th man. He actually led the team in potential assists as well. So still like McBride there for value. Payne and Jericho Sims both had a good game last game, but a lot of their production came in garbage time, so be a little bit careful there. And then Pacomi played a little bit in the first half and then played some in garbage time, but not really interested there. Memphis and Houston. So Memphis, Jaren Jackson Jr. is doubtful. Now, Memphis played 6 games in 9 days, and they said they're going to kind of spread out the bench, the minutes a bit because of that. So be a little bit cautious with the minutes here for the main guys. With like Ja and Bane, guys like that. Edey fouled out last game and actually went to Jay Huff over Brandon Clark, which was wild. So like Ja and Bane are definitely viable at the top, but again, the minutes last game were a little bit concerning. Aldama had a really good game. Aldama might be my favorite option here on Memphis, 5.1K reasonable option. Again, with no Jaren Jackson, or Jaren Jackson doubtful, he's the guy that benefits the most there. If they continue to kind of take it easy in the minutes for Ja, I think Scottie Pippen's interesting at 4K. I mean, Jay Huff, I don't even know if Jay Huff plays. I would assume that they go back to Edie and Clark as the centers. I mean, Clark was just horrific last game. I missed the cash by like a few points in high stakes last night, and it was all because of Brandon Clark. So annoying. Brandon Clark usually a pretty good point per minute player, so pretty outlier game there. Probably no one will click Clark since he let everyone down. He's like 50% owned in high stakes as he should have been. He stood out as really good value. The Sharks all played him, but I wonder because he let everyone down, he'll probably be relatively low owned. Moving on to Houston. Sorry, it's been a long day, and I'm on full tilt mode, man, with DiVincenzo. But yeah, you got Adams out, Whitmore and Brooks probable. Houston ran a 10-man rotation, but they did play the starters all 30-plus minutes. My boy Şengün is someone I was high on as contrarian play. He absolutely broke the slate last game. Yeah, he looks good again. Jalen Green, Van Vliet, both viable options. I'm not really looking to Jabari Smith at that price. And then again, this bench is pretty deep, so there's not a ton else. You did see a little bit of Jock Landale's the backup 5 with Steven Adams out. If Şengün gets in foul trouble, yeah, maybe Landale could pay off. All right, last 4 games here. Chicago, Milwaukee, no Lonzo Ball. You probably get a slight minutes bump for guys like Giddey and Io with Lonzo Ball out. But expect good minutes for the starters here in competitive games. So like Vooch, Kobe White, Levine, Giddey, I think are all solid options. 6-6 for Giddey, 7K for Levine, 7-2 for Kobe, 7-9 for Vooch. Io, again, looks a little bit better there without Lonzo. Jalen Smith plays the backup 5, good point per minute. I think he's a decent value play there. Talking about Milwaukee, so Brook Lopez, Giannis, both expected to play. No Chris Middleton. Dame had a huge game last game, but I still expect Giannis to kind of lead this team in usage and assist percentage. So I still think I prefer Giannis to Dame, but Dame definitely in play too. Gary Trent Jr. was on pace to play huge minutes. Dealt some foul trouble. Still played like 35 minutes. My boy Bobby Portis, we know he's going to be a high usage player off the bench. I think he's interesting. Not a ton else. Team's pretty gross. You kind of know where the offense is coming from. It's a lot of Giannis. It's a lot of Dame. And then it's going to be some Bobby Portis. Golden State, Utah. So no surprise here. Golden State ran 12 guys as I kind of predicted. Steph, Draymond, and Melton all questionable. I expect all of them to play. I think it's pretty hard to feel confident about anyone in Golden State. If you want to target Steph in tournament, sure. Draymond, Kuminga, I guess are fine. I just don't have a ton of confidence in the rotation at all. If Jackson Davis starts, I think he's reasonable 4 or 5, but man, it's just they're going to play 12 guys. I think it's pretty hard to feel confident in anyone. For Utah, so Utah also ran a 10-man rotation. I expect that to continue. One thing to note is in the preseason, Sexton and Clarkson did not overlap minutes at all. And that was the case basically again last game. They overlapped like 1 minute. So that kind of caps the upside of both those guys if they're not going to play alongside each other at all. That being Sexton and that being Clarkson. But Markkinen's the guy that you should expect to play the most minutes on this team on a basis. I think he's reasonable at 7-8. This team's just, again, if they continue to run that kind of gross 10-man rotation, there's not really a ton else. Collins, Kessler split the center position. Deontay George feels priced right. Hendricks, I guess, is an okay value play. There's not a ton here for Utah. New Orleans and Portland. So New Orleans is definitely an interesting team here. No DeJounte, no Trey Murphy. You do have Zion back. I'm expecting them to start CJ at the point. Go CJ, Ingram, Herb, Zion, and Tice. The Pelicans ran a disgusting 3-headed monster at center with Tice, JRE, and Messi. That is absolutely disgusting. I wonder was Zion back if they try the small ball lineup at all. But yeah, with DeJounte out, you should get a minutes bump for Alvarado at 4-2 and probably a little more run for Hawkins as well. But I think the main 3 guys all look pretty good here. No DeJounte Murray in a great spot, that being Zion, that being Ingram, and that being CJ. Probably my preferred option there would be Zion, but all 3 I think look pretty good. Herb Jones, and don't love it. The center rotation, again, they played 3 centers. That's pretty disgusting. But yeah, a little bit interesting Alvarado, a little bit interesting Hawkins too. On Portland, no Sharp, no Thibault. DeAndre Ayton was actually on pace to play 36 minutes, so Klingon is not a big part of the rotation right now, but obviously he'll back up Ayton. I think he will like slowly take away minutes from Ayton as the season goes on, but looks like the Blazers will kind of lean on Ayton early on. Yeah, Scoot led the team in usage off the bench. He also closed in a blowout, though. So probably a bit of an outlier game there for Scoot. He was pretty bad in the preseason. Just wanted to mention that. But yeah, I think like any of Ayton, Simons, Denny, and Grant are all reasonable options. 6-2 for Grant, 6-6 for Denny, 6-9 for Simon, 7K for Ayton. Kamara started 4-4, but not the best point per minute player. Kind of it. Let's finish up here with Phoenix and the Lakers. Beal and Allen both probable. Okogie out. The Suns also ran a 3-headed monster center rotation with Nurkic, with Oso, and with Plumlee. That's pretty gross. Nurk, the best point per minute player of the three, but not confident in the minutes. He did deal with a little bit of foul trouble early on. Booker, Beal, KD, all viable. I think my favorite option there would be KD if I had to pick. Tyus Jones, reasonable play there in the mid-range of 5'3", the starting point guard. Not a ton else, though, to like here for Phoenix. Let's finish up with the Lakers. Lakers, no Vanderbilt, no Wood. Should get the same starting five. 80, 10-1, LeBron, 8-9. I still think I slightly prefer 80, who led the team in usage. No surprise. LeBron had a bit of an off game, but the price is dropping him to 8.9. D'Lo, Reeves, Rui, all solid options in the mid-range. All should play good minutes. Off the bench, you're going to see some Christie, some Connect, some Gabe Vincent, some Jackson Hayes. I think if I was going to target one of these guys, it would be Dalton Connect at 3.6. He did have a really good preseason, but I wouldn't expect huge minutes unless, one of the starters do get in foul trouble. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap up the video. I probably won't have a video for Saturday's slate because I have a wedding tomorrow. But we'll try to get one video up for the weekend, and we'll get NFL Sunday. So we'll see. If not, I'll definitely be back Monday for sure. But appreciate you guys for watching as always. If you do enjoy, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you all in the next video.